Hello, welcome back to the SCW Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, George Jones, and this is your post-LEP show review. And once again, I'm joined by a guest. I don't know if I want to call this person my friend after his actions at this past Saturday's show. None other than General Manager, Mr. John Joe Obrey.
Whoa. Who are you calling John Joe? Did you not see what happened this past Saturday at the Windmill Centre? Huh, Jonesy? What are you calling me John Joe for? You and everyone else, the whole LEP roster, the whole LEP scum, can refer to me as John the Revelator.
Okay, so let's go into. So I've done this podcast with you for the past year, and
You're damn right you have.
And you've always been Mr. John Joe Obrey, and I've got a bit of an issue with you. I've got to be honest with you. All this time you've been going on about Dead Man's Hand, how you hate them, and after your actions, what was that about on Saturday? Come on, let's get to it.
What was that about? This has been a long time coming. 18 months. 18 long months. I have worked my way through LEP and worked my way right to the top. I'm now at the top. I and Dead Man's Hand now run LEP. It's ours. We destroyed Danny and he deserved it. I mean, you think this just came out of nowhere? George, do you really think that this just happened? I mean, there had to be a reason, didn't there, George? There had to be a reason as to why I would turn my back on LEP and Danny Walsh. So I came to this company 3 years ago. 3 long years ago, I came to this company and first training session. Now, I went in there full of hope, full of confidence, ready. I was ready to get going. I was ready to get started. And you know what happened? He put me in there with some 7-foot dude who decided it would be funny to blow my knee out of its socket. So for a whole year after that, I was out for a year. A whole year. Did I hear a single thing from Dan? No. Did I hear a single thing from anyone at LEP? No. So I plotted. George, I plotted my revenge. And I'll tell you what, revenge is a dish best served cold, and I delivered it ice cold Saturday night. We run LEP.
Okay, I'm really horrified by what you've said so far. I'm just going to go into a bit of a synopsis of what went down Saturday. So Saturday, Mark Walsh had just defeated Danny in one of the biggest matches in LEP history, and this was to reinstate you. You'd been suspended. LEP had been doing their own investigation. They didn't think you were quite right, which clearly means that they were onto something there. And then obviously the music hit. You came out for the rafters with your Dead Man's Hand. You were so pent up. You smashed the merchandise table, and you were really angry. And obviously you then came to the ring, and you then started bashing the ring, sort of in one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. I was the front row. It was scary. And then obviously, next thing you know, Mark Walsh then kicks his brother nearly his head off his shoulders. What? I'm glad you're laughing at it. I didn't enjoy it. Obviously, and you then felt it was the time to reveal yourself. So what was it? So let's go through this then. So why was that the time for you to reveal yourself? And how long has this metamorphosis been brewing inside you? Because when we've done the podcast the last 12 months, for example, you've been really nice to talk to, but I'm not liking this new you. I really think I wish it would go away. To be fair, you're kind of scary.
I'm gonna stop you right there, George. You think this is the new me? What if I was to tell you this has always been me? Everything I have done is to fool everyone, to put my plan in place, to get myself to the top of LEP. And why was it my time to reveal myself? That's what you want to know. Everyone wants to know why. Why was that the time? Why was that the time, John? Why reveal yourself then? Well, I'll tell you what, George, I'll tell you exactly why. Okay, I was suspended. Granted, they had suspicions about me. Granted, so I needed to do something quick. So do you know what? I put out a heartfelt video. Oh, I've been suspended. Oh no, I can't believe this has happened. I mean, I've done everything right by these guys. Hell no. No. These guys treat me like dirt. So what I did was I gave that heartfelt video, and that was the only way I could get Danny and the rest of the LEP management to try and reinstate me from my suspension. Then everything will go back to how it was, with one little difference. I am the Master of Shadows. I have always been the Master of Shadows.
I'm just in shock by that. Obviously,
What are you shocked about, George? What are you shocked about? Come on, let it out.
For the past year, you've been belittling this so-called Master of Shadows. So that must have pained you when we did this podcast for me to be talking so negative about your alter ego.
Negative? Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll bash myself, yeah. But how else was I meant to get everyone off my back? There are people who had their suspicions. There are people who were going around, saying it was me. Yeah, damn right it was me.
We did that.
Yeah, they were right. But I had to get you lot off the scent. And it worked.
Yeah.
It worked because you're all morons. That is why it worked perfectly.
Okay, I would say one thing. SCW did sort of have a hint in that it was you. And clearly, we thought the sources that we had would have been correct. But ultimately, for whatever metamorphosis you went through, you were able to throw us off the scent. I hold my hands up. I was fooled. I'm sure the whole of LEP was fooled. I think it's absolutely shocking. But I do have another bit of business I do need to take care of before we go back into what's going to happen in the future. I've got a bit of an issue with you, so to speak. You invaded our podcast when I interviewed Vinny Clay with no invitation. What the hell were you doing? How do you think? What right do you think you had just to come onto this podcast and leave a message for Vinny Clay? It's not right, is it?
One word, George. One word. Fear. That is what this is. It was fear. You see, I needed to let everyone know that we could be anywhere, anytime, any place. It doesn't matter when. It really doesn't matter where, but we would show up anywhere before you guys even know it. So you're damn right. You're damn right. I was trying to put fear in you guys, and it worked. Look at Vinny. We stopped him. All those months of trying to grab that brass ring, trying to get that academy title. All right, granted, he won it this past Saturday. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to give him a little round of applause. He deserves at least that much. You see, we weren't out there. They were protecting me that night. They were making sure no one would see me. They were making sure no one could do anything to me. So we were at the back. And Blake, I'll tell you something now. I like Blake. He's a good kid. He's a good kid, and he served his purpose well in Dead Man's Hand. However, he will be punished. Anyone who fails in Dead Man's Hand is punished.
Okay, that's rather alarming. That's an even more worrying threat. Let's go into a bit of history then. So, if we go full circle, so 12 months ago, it was a title match for the Academy title, a vacant title match between the reject Blake Harrison and the Mad Dog Vinny Clay. Someone was a referee, which was yourself, and you somehow got taken out. And then all of a sudden, Dead Man's Hand hit. That was one of the best masterstrokes I think you've ever pulled. I don't like to say that, but that was. I bet you must have enjoyed.
Whoa! One of the best masterpieces, masterstrokes, whatever the hell you just called it. One of the best from me. Saturday was the best thing I have ever done. Saturday was when Danny Walsh got his head caved in by myself. So, yeah, you're damn right. A year ago, we came out to that ring. We attacked. I was taken out before that even happened. But do you remember who? George? Who was the one who took out poor referee John Joe, Aubrey. Who was it, George? Tell me.
It would have been the reject Blake Harrison.
You're damn right it was the reject Blake Harrison. You're damn right, because I trusted my brothers. They worked with me. They worked for me. They were all part of the plan. They wanted to take down LEP as much as I did, and we would do anything, even go through a table just to manipulate you LEP scumbags.
Okay, I find that kind of offensive, but I'll go back to that point you've just said. So clearly, a previous show, you were chokeslammed for a table by one of your own, the British thug Scott Johns, and we thought you were generally injured. What the hell was? And then what was kind of weird is your so-called Dead Man's Hand were then sort of almost appealing to Danny to be the Master of Shadows. What was that about? Was that just a big trick, or was that one of the biggest laughs you've had? Why did you do that? Go for that pain to try and fool people?
Tell you what, we laughed that night. We drank, we laughed, we smoked, we celebrated. We celebrated because we pulled off what I like to call the ultimate manipulation. Every last one of you believed Danny Walsh. How more stupid can you get? That's what I was proving. How stupid can you LEP fans be to think Danny Walsh, owner, founder, head coach of LEP, would take down his own company? But you're that stupid. That is how thick and dumb the LEP scum are. Do you know what? I'm not going to refer to you lot as fans anymore. You're just scum, and that's how thick you really are, because you believed that Danny could be the Master of Shadows. You believed he would have the brains to pull this off. No, I had the brains to pull this off. I had the brawn to pull this off. I had the monster within to pull this off.
Okay, let's go into a bit of background then. So, when you formed this Dead Man's Hand, this was synonymous with these eerie voice messages. Why did you go down that road rather than, was this just another way to prove the LEP fans are stupid? What went into that, really?
Stupidity. It was just to prove that we could do anything, and it was to prove that you fans are morons.
Okay, well, why are we morons? Ultimately, you spoke in riddles. A lot of it didn't make sense, I have to say, for the fans.
I mean, it didn't make sense. It didn't need to make sense. It didn't need to make sense. All you needed to know was that we were all about fear. Not knowing who that voice was, that installed fear. The riddles installed fear. Everyone was terrified, looking over their shoulders, the whole roster. And you know why? I know that the whole roster was scared. They may turn around. Vinny may act the hard gang. Oh, I'm Vinny Clay, you know. I'm the street gangster and all that. No, he's soft. He's weak. He was looking over his shoulder, just like the rest of the LEP locker room were all looking over their shoulders. And the reason I know that is because I was back there. I watched everything. I watched fear unfold, and it looked damn good.
Okay, fair point. I was going to say that let's go into another classic moment of Dead Man's Hand. So, what about that classic photo that took place in the boiler room at Saltash? You guys seem to be able to come and go as you please. Did you find that quite easy to orchestrate at times?
LEP, they don't have security. They've only just started getting damn security. And what did he do? He let me walk through the door. I had a baseball bat. I had a mask on. He knows exactly what's been happening. And this past Saturday, I walked straight past. I looked him in the eye and I walked straight past him. I got into that ring and I caved in Danny's head. That's exactly how it's always been. It is so easy. It has been so easy to manipulate everyone to get inside the buildings. We just walk in. That's it. We just walk in because you're all thick. Oh, God, believe me, George. It was easy. The manipulation was easy. Getting into the buildings were easy. Making the attacks were easy because no one, think about it, barely anyone would come out to stop us. Who out of the LEP roster, apart from the stupid ones, how many? There's got to be, 15 to 20 guys on the roster? How many of them came out to help the people who were being attacked? How many came out to help Vinny Clay? This was a locker room full of fear. They didn't want any part of us. They didn't want to get involved with us. Only the stupid stepped up and took us on. And ultimately, they lost.
Okay, I don't think the battle's over yet. You may be in a position of power.
Hold on, you don't think the battle's over yet. Danny! Danny is gone. We're gonna have him back. We've got a lovely little job for him lined up in February. The first show of the year. The first Dead Man's Hand presents limited edition wrestling. So Danny will be back.
Okay.
Danny, we've got a very special job for you come February.
So it's February.
But I'll tell you. No, go on, George. What were you going to say?
I was going to say February 17th is the big show. Hopefully, this will be the first and last Dead Man's Hand show. I'm really hoping that. I'm positive. I think you've made a lot of enemies. I'm sorry, you've exposed yourself now. Everyone knows who you are. You were hidden before under these voices, behind the masks. You've now put yourself in the wide open perimeter. There's a lot of people in LEP that are not going to be too happy that you've got rid of, such as Maximo and your so-called ex-friends that are you're meant to be there for. I think you're sort of a target now. I've got to say it.
Do I sound scared, George? Do I sound like I'm quaking in my boots, George? No.
You're not sounding like that.
No.
But then.
No, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth when I'm speaking. You do not talk over me. Okay? You listen to what I have to say.
Okay. As I said, if you want to go down that tone, that's not particularly nice. This is meant to be an interview. It's meant to be a two-way thing.
Nice. But you thought this? Are you serious, George? You are kidding me, aren't you? You thought this was going to be nice. You thought, oh, he's still going to be John Joe. Oh, great. No, I am John the Revelator. I had to dig deep down into my soul to find the monster within, and I unleashed that monster. And you better believe February, the first show of the year, Dead Man's Hand presents limited edition promotions. You better believe you're going to see a different side. You better believe it, George.
Okay. I was going to say, let's go into one of your highest acquisitions in Dead Man's Hand. This was one of my worst moments of the year, besides this past Saturday, when you somehow managed to convince Jago to turn his back on Vinny Clay. What led to that? Talk me through. Now we're sort of talking. Now we're getting really, really interesting. Talk me about that acquisition.
You thought, hold on, George, sorry. I'm still laughing at that word, convincing. You think I had to convince? You think I had to convince Jago to come over to the darkness, to step out of the light and step into the darkness? You really think he needed convincing? Oh, no. No. Because when I approached him, me, I didn't get any of the others. I approached the enforcer, Jago. And all it took was me to talk about that egotistical son of a bitch that is Mad Dog Vinny Clay. You see, when I approached Jago, he was just a dog's body. He was going out there, he was collecting suits. Okay? He was collecting suits for the Mad Dog. He was pouring him drinks. He was driving him places. He was doing everything for the Mad Dog. And what did he get back? What did he get back, George? He got absolutely nothing. He got nothing. He got a handshake at the end of it. Pat on the back. Good job, Jago. Good job, mate. That is all Jago got. And then he joined the darkness. He stepped into the shadows. He won the tag team titles. He was rewarded for what he had done for me. Did Vinny do that? Did Vinny reward Jago? No. Did Vinny respect Jago? No. But the best thing about it is, did Jago respect Vinny? No. Was Vinny ever Jago's brother? No. So Jago joined the DMH Brotherhood. he stepped into the darkness and he helped take out the mad dog, Vinnie Clay.
Okay, so I remember we reviewed that show previously, and what was it with ringing the bell? What was that? Was that meant to be? Was that a signal? Was this the way that you were able to manipulate people?
Hold on, George. You always say this. You have always said this. Who rung a bell? No one rung a bell. Do you know what happened, George? All that happened was the British thug Scott Johns just letting everyone know that what he had in his hands was metal. That was all you heard. It wasn't a ding, oh look, Jago's changed. No, Jago did it off his own back. Okay? There was no convincing, there was no brainwashing. I haven't brainwashed a single person. They all saw the light, or the darkness, so to speak.
Okay, okay, I'm a bit pulled, but let's go into this in a bit more detail. Let's expose this now.
You sound like you're shaking, George.
Oh yeah, I just think I'm getting.
You sound scared.
I'm not. Why would I be scared? As I said, I was one of the one people that thought Jago was going to be part of you, and as I said, we were former friends, but this is getting worse and worse as we go on. I'm going to go into it now. Let's go into it.
We were never friends, George.
Yeah, we're not now.
Get that into your head. We were never friends. We would never be friends.
We're not now after...
Get that into your head, George. Never friends.
Okay.
Ever.
Okay. As I said, so what was it with Vinnie Clay? Why was it Vinnie that you targeted pretty much solely?
Why?
In this Reign of Terror?
Why?
Yeah, why Vinnie?
Have you seen the ego on that guy? The ego. He thought he was better than everyone else. He thought that after being in this business for just 6 months that he deserved it all. He would be in the locker room thinking he deserved it all. I could hear him talking to Danny saying he deserved better. But he didn't. He needed to know his place. No one would cut him down. So I took it upon myself and the rest of Dead Man's Hand to cut him down to size, to make him realise he's not as big of a deal as he thinks he is. Oh, they cheer my name. I deserve a title shot. What do you mean you deserve a title shot? All I ever hear is of the same 15 people. Every show, 15 cheer you. Every damn show. And you think you deserve everything, Vinny. You deserve nothing. You don't deserve that title now. You didn't deserve it then. You never, ever deserve it. So I'll tell you what, that is why we took out Vinnie Clay. That is why we made his life miserable. Does that answer your question, George?
Yeah, you must have been...
Move on, George.
Okay, you must have been absolutely delighted, though, that him and Danny were blaming each other for this whole Dead Man's Hand thing. You must have been absolutely loving that.
I was ringside. I was loving every single minute of it because I was the good guy, John Joe Obery. Yay! I announce. I saw everything and it made me so happy. And the laughs that me and my brothers shared were amazing.
Okay.
We were all so proud that we had pulled off the ultimate manipulation.
Okay, there is one big question that no one can figure out. I can't figure this out. Why were you so vocal in backing Gaznox to win the World Heavyweight title? Was this... Are you trying to recruit him? What was that in Ada? Was this all to try and fool everybody? He was your people's champion, wasn't he? He was the person you were singing praises for. What was that in Ada? Was that just the ultimate, another way to further get people away from the truth?
Right. Okay. Now, see, Gaznox. He's a tough cookie. He's a very tough cookie. No, never approached him, but I scouted for a while. I wanted to see what he could do if he got bigger. I wanted to see what he could do if I decided to give him just that little bit of glory, just that little bit of hope. He took it, and yet he's still the good guy. So no, he's not right for Dead Man's Hand. But yeah, you're damn right. I was thinking of recruiting Gaznox. Why else would I want to give him the title? Why else would he be the favourite, the hot favourite of John Joe's? if I didn't want him in the ranks.
Okay, as I said, a fair comment. So you were basically trying to make it very DMH heavy, this world title tournament. You obviously had Mark Walsh, which obviously that's one of the most shocking people ever. I can't believe he's part of your stable. That's absolutely disgusting. I don't know how you could do that, divide brothers, but it doesn't surprise me. You also
didn't take much, George. It really didn't take much.
So let's listen straight. So all the time that you said he was injured and you were going to pick him up, were you lying then? I'm guessing.
So, how did the story go? Let me remember, because I've got to remember what I made up now. What was the story? What was the lie I get? Oh, that was it. So, Mark Walsh injured. Oh, he was injured on the way to his show. There was no Jago. Jago was the one who did it. No. Jago picked up Mark Walsh from the train station. Mark Walsh was in Paynton. He wanted to come and kick some ass. He wanted to be revealed. He wanted to show himself, but I said no. So Jago went and picked him up and took him back to Dead Man's Hand HQ. And I'll tell you what, we came up with the ultimate plan. And this past Saturday, that plan went down. Mark was revealed as the Punisher of Dead Man's Hand. You see, George, I've got a very, very skilled and very, very evil team behind me. I have got my Punisher, Mark Walsh. I have got my mercenaries, the Enforcer Jago and the British Thug Scott Johns. I've got my right-hand man, Blake Harrison. I have got the unhinged, the sinister one, Draven. And I've got the most ruthless bitch walking the wrestling circuit right now in Ruth Jackson. You see, I have got the ultimate team behind me, George. And you say we can't win. You say the battle isn't over. That is half of the LEP roster on my side against LEP, ready to chop down anyone who gets in our way.
Okay, so a lot of people have been asking, sort of, where were you though? Where for numerous months, as the Martial Shadows, you were missing. It must have been painful for you not to be able to have any sort of impact on sort of certain people like Vinnie Clay getting victories and other fan favourites winning matches. That must have been really painful for you to have to watch that.
I wouldn't say painful, but it was concerning. It was concerning, but like I said, I was there the whole time. I was watching every little thing that happened. And I'll tell you what, it was perfect. It was perfect. So I watched everything unfold. I watched everyone turn on Dan. I watched everything start to crumble. I was right there. So yeah, it was hard. It was hard to see it all, but it was for the greater good. I needed to see if my boys could handle themselves. Second longest reigning LEP Academy champion, Blake Harrison.
He's not anymore.
You better watch your mouth, boy. You better watch your mouth. You say anything again while I'm talking, that's it. We're done, and you won't want to come to the next show. Now let me finish what I started. So, second longest reigning LEP Academy champion, Blake Harrison. The first ever LEP women's champion, Ruthless Ruth Jackson. We also have, or had, but they got to watch out. They really have got to watch out. We have Jago, Scott Johns. They won the tag team championship. So did everyone prove to me that they could do it? That they didn't need me out there? You're damn right they did. I trusted them, and I still trust them now.
Okay, so
you may speak, George.
Oh, nice of you to say. Thank you. I thought there was both of us sort of doing this interview, but I guess.
Well, you got it wrong, didn't you?
Oh, okay. As I said, so do you have any sort of plans for your Dead Man's Hand Empire to grow members, or is that something now that?
Why am I gonna? Why should I tell you? Why should I tell you whether I'm expanding or not? Why should I tell you whether I'm getting new members? That doesn't concern you. Next question.
Okay, I want to thank you for something, actually. I want to thank you for making me not be able to trust anybody on the LEP roster now. So that's round of applause to you there.
Thank you. You can't see me right now, but I am taking a bow, George. Thank you very much.
I think it's really, really heinous, the fact that this metamorphosis and how you finally exploded. Clearly, what with the ramifications of Saturday's show, you're now the total owner of LEP Wrestling, and Danny is fired. So let's try and be sensible now. Let's try and be. We used to get on for a while. You said we're not friends, but we did used to get on. Let's just try and tell me a bit about what you predict for the February 17th LEP Dead Man's Hand show. Sorry, I got that wrong. It should have been Dead Man's Hand. I'm not gonna. I don't upset you.
Right. You corrected yourself, George, so I don't have to correct you. You corrected yourself. But yeah, you want to know what to expect in February. Is that what you want? You want to know what to expect?
You're now the owner of the company, so please tell us if you may.
Expect the unexpected.
Oh no. Yeah, we've heard this line for a while. Whenever that happens, that's not very good. That is obviously really shocking. I do need to go into a bit of personal business, though. So, clearly, we used to do the podcast for LEP. Would you still want SCW to sort of do the podcast with Dead Man's Hand now? Or have we upset you with our previous actions?
Do you know what, George? Do you know what? It's Christmas, right? Coming up to Christmas. Yeah?
Yeah, it's Christmas,
Yeah, you're damn right. You answer me when I'm asking you a question. You answer me when I'm talking to you. It's Christmas, isn't it, George?
Yes, it is, sir.
Yes, it's the season. It is the season for giving.
Yes, it is.
So, George, yeah, I want you to carry on. But you, you no longer work for limited edition promotions. Listen to me carefully, boy. You work for John the Revalter.
Oh no, I don't know if I want to work for that. That's not very good. John the Revelator, are you still there? John. Okay, John the Revelator has mysteriously gone. This has been a rather shocking interview on behalf of the SCW Wrestling Podcast. I apologise for anybody that might be offended. Clearly, we are all shot. I'm going to end this interview now. This has been the SCW Wrestling Podcast. The next LEP show, or Dead Man's Hand LEP show, will be February 17th. And I hope things are better, but let's hope Danny Walsh is listening out there and somehow he'll save us all. Thank you for listening. This has been the SCW Wrestling Podcast. I've been George Jones, and I've been joined by John the Revelator. Thank you.